And that was Pennsylvania. Now, ahead of the U.S. presidential election, security forces across the Capitol are on high alert as well, with security beefed up and additional security has been deployed outside the White House and the official residence of the vice president. Now, outside the White House, which already has a fence and barricades, workers were putting up additional fencing to create a wider and closed perimeter. Secret Service agents are guarding the building. This comes as intelligence officials have warned that Russia and Iran may consider encouraging violent protests in the U.S. following the election.
About the election itself, I'm excited. I'm very confident of who I'm going to be voting for, and I think it's a great moment for our country. And for the world, a free, fair election, peaceful transition. However it comes, I think that's how it should be, and I'm very confident it will be.
The security was also intensified around Mar-a-Lago and the Palm Beach County Convention Center. Barricades were being put up around the convention center with a heavy presence of police and sheriffs stationed at both locations. Now, WION's correspondent Siddhant Sibul spoke with Divyansh Kaushik, who is a security expert, and they also spoke on U.S. presidential elections' impact on India-U.S. ties. Listen in.
Relations are going to be strong regardless of who wins. I think there's a bipartisan recognition that India is a key strategic partner and that, especially as the United States engages in this strategic competition on technology with China, in particular, that like-minded partners and allies, especially in India, will have to be brought closer on technology cooperation, on strategic trade, and that's why the Biden administration started things like ISET, and I think next year when we look at what the ISET will bring or what the Quad Summit in India will bring, I think you expect to see a lot of focus on technology, regardless of who is in the White House. Where the rubber meets the road is how far will that go, especially as there will be potentially broader discussion on trade and tariffs when there's a Trump administration versus when there's a Harris administration. But you can expect India playing a key central role for the United States when it comes to strategic competition with the Chinese Communist Party.
Now, ahead of the U.S. presidential elections 2024, security has been beefed up outside the White House. Our correspondent Siddhant Sibul has sent us this report from Washington, D.C., telling us more. Take a look.
Well, behind me is the White House, but perhaps you won't be able to see because of the increased security, the fences that have been put up, and of course the barricades that have been put up. Now, essentially, what has happened is not only that the authorities have increased security, fearing if there are protests post-elections, but also in terms of the preparations for the inaugurations are taking place. That will happen in January. But on the ground, of course, not only security, but roads are blocked. Other than that, of course, the various establishments, shops, they have put wooden planks as well if there is protest. But this is a battle which is neck on neck. Nobody knows whether it will be Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, but both sides are trying to make sure that they get the last vote counting especially in the swing states, the 7 swing states, of which Pennsylvania is the most important one. It has 9 electoral votes, something that will decide the future race of the White House that has, of course, started. Siddhant Sibul for WION in Washington, D.C.